Hello my lovelies and welcome back to Sondering Tarot. If you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. This is your daily tarot reading for the 14th of September 2024. Deck will be using the description box down below. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started on our reading. Alright my lovelies, I am back. We have 1 7 major arcanas, and right off the bat I noticed 333 as a synchronicity. There might be more on the table, I just didn't see them closely. Unfortunately we have a lot of cards on the table, so apologies if I do happen to miss one. Anyway, the best part of our day, we start off with the Devil, the Ten of Wands, the Three of Cups, the Six of Swords in the reverse, the Four of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, the Queen of Cups in the reverse, the Two of Wands in the reverse, the Queen of Swords in the reverse, the Nine of Wands, the Five of Swords, and the Magician in the reverse. And I'm now seeing another synchronicity 999 as well, because I know of another card later on that I did see, so apologies. I did miss one. Okay, so we have unfortunately, some bad habits going on, and we may not even perceive them as bad habits. Why? It's because they're bad habits. They're actually making things worse, but we think that they're actually doing good, that they're supporting us, when the truth is it doesn't. It's like having a certain boundary and then realizing it's causing more harm than good, and that habit of keeping it there is actually not healthy anymore. It becomes toxic. Just as an example, it prevents us from moving forward. It can actually stalemate us, stifle us, limit us in a way, because there is something there that we've kept, a habit, a routine, a boundary. We're thinking it's good, it's not, and of course we're holding on to it. Why? Because it's become a habit, you know, something that has been there for a while. We haven't thought about it, but it is causing us a little bit of a struggle. And in turn, you know, it does have a side effect. We see that with these two cards here. We don't realize the damage that it's doing. Page of Pentacles in the reverse and Queen of Cups in the reverse. It does have an effect on our emotional state, as well as probably our health as well. I'm getting more health energy rather than physical items in the 3D worlds with that Page of Pentacles in the reverse. But this is what will actually help us move forward, when we realize that part of all of our struggle, our confusion right here that we have with the Queen of Swords, is stemmed from that. It means we get to reassess our boundaries. You know, we get to draw a new line in the sand. We get to shift that area. Once we realize, oh, I'm holding on to something and it's actually starting to harm me. It no longer serves me. Instead, it's actually, unfortunately, the source of my conflict that is preventing me from co-creation. So what you thought was once helping you is now holding you back. Of course, you know, identifying that area and having that realization just means, oh, we can actively change that now, you know. If it's something that we can totally let go of, instead of holding tight to that rope, we just let go. If it's a boundary, maybe we just have to push it a little bit, extend it out further, you know, redraw that line in the sand. Maybe it just needs to be moved like 3 inches. It doesn't always have to be something major. It really doesn't. Alright, now the worst part of our day, we have the King of Pentacles, the Hermit in the reverse, the Three of Wands in the reverse, the Five of Wands in the reverse, excuse me, Three of Swords in the reverse, and the Ace of Wands in the reverse. Okay, now when it comes to things that are best for yourself, your own prosperity, your own abundance, your own health, your own personal well-being, in other words, all the bad habit situations, the whole toxicity that we've been talking about is actually going to be harder to maintain when you are surrounded by others. So whether you're at work, you're amongst strangers, you're amongst a large group, you're going to struggle to keep your well-being intact, to take the action you need to heal that process. So there might be a little bit of a temptation, there might be peer pressure, there just might be influences, or if you're around certain people, maybe it's harder to maintain said boundaries. Okay, so that's a wide area. Please take that as it resonates, because it's going to be different for all of you. It just means that when you're by yourself or in a really small, maybe one-on-one setting, it's easier to keep that up, to make the adjustments, stick to your guns, to, you know, hold out, to have that fortitude with what you decided and which direction you decided to go. However, when you're around a large populace or around certain people, when you're not alone and you're in a crowded group setting, it's going to be harder to maintain those boundaries. It's going to be harder to stick to your guns. It's going to be harder to make sure that you put yourself first. Okay. Now, our obstacle, or how to get over our obstacle, they gave us a lot of cards for that. We start off with the Ten of Pentacles. The Knight of Wands in the reverse. The Emperor in the reverse. The Six of Pentacles. The Page of Cups in the reverse. The King of Wands in the reverse. The Hangman, or the Hangwoman as it is in this deck. The Two of Pentacles. The Page of Wands in the reverse. The Knight of Cups in the reverse. The Moon in reverse. The Empress in the reverse. The Seven of Swords in the reverse. The Six of Wands in the reverse. And the Eight of Wands in the reverse. Yeah. The happiness that you were seeking, the overall well-being, unfortunately, is not playing out the way that you had figured. Our actions were very much, I don't want to say not under our control, but more of an inappropriate action for what we were desiring. We were giving in the wrong area, and we were unfortunately harming ourselves, not only because we were causing issues when it comes to our own momentum later on, but our well-being. Okay. And this is what we're realizing of, oops, I miscalculated, basically. We did something, we thought it was good, we thought it was great. Turns out, side effects, not so great, not so wonderful. And this is where we come to a choice. We get to have that choice after we realize exactly where we went wrong, where we're actually harming ourselves. And in this case, it's in probably a boundary or a habit that we had that we thought was good. We had the every best intention when we first approached that area, when we first created it, when we first accepted that and we started holding on to it. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that it always stays the same. It doesn't mean that we don't always know all the outcomes from the get-go. And in this case, this one has either outserved its purpose, or it does have unintentional side effects that are not what we intended, not what we wanted, and they're slightly harmful. So now we have to make the choice of, okay, do we keep it as it is, or do we go ahead and change it? Why? Because we now see how things are not so much in balance, and we have that option to make a choice to put it in balance. The action that we took was not correct. It started to emotionally damage our well-being. That is what came to the surface. That is what we know now. That is what's being shown to us, what's being revealed to us. Probably after a couple things happened and we started to identify the source, and that's what the source was. Hence why it shows up in the best part of our day, is us identifying it. Okay. Yeah, so at the time, probably what we created was, like I said, something we thought that was good, but actually turned out to be is something that as unorthodox as it was not successful. It did not prove to be very lasting. It did not serve its purpose. So we can unmake that. That's literally what this is us realizing, oh, it's bad. Oh, it's not what we wanted. Oh, okay, that's definitely where it's at. That was a bad choice. That was a bad creation moment. Okay, let's uncreate it now. Let's dismantle it. Instead of it being our comfort zone, let's realize that is now a tack that we have to take out of the board. Why? Because it's not doing us any favors. And it's slowing us down. It's not getting through properly the correct way. So we're going to basically unsend that, rescind, there we go, rescind that choice. Undo it. We're going to unmake it here with this Empress in the reverse. That was not the best new beginning for us. And sometimes we have that, and it's okay. Sometimes it's literally just a small, minute choice, and it turns out that, well, we chose the wrong thing to co-create with. Maybe that be a person or a circumstance. In this case, this is probably a routine, a habit, you know, a boundary that we thought we needed at the time, or in a way we did need it. It's just, it's outserved its purpose, and now that co-creation period has ended and it needs to be readjusted. Okay, what else is here? There's something else here. Oh, details. Okay. This is why it might be a bad co-creation moment. It was something that you needed, hence why you did hold on to it, but it was an imperfect creation. In other words, if you created a boundary, maybe you knew there was a boundary that was necessary. You did create one, but maybe you didn't put it in the correct place. Something was off about it. It wasn't exactly perfect. So hence why, did it serve a purpose and you held on to it? Yes. But at the same time, as much as you thought it was supporting you, it wasn't doing the full duty. It wasn't carrying the full weight. Instead, it's like you left a gap, and it's because something was slightly off with it. And that's why I say imperfect creation, because it was flawed. Something was off, and unfortunately, that part that's off is what's causing the harm. Like I said, sometimes you just have to, you know, push a boundary and move it like 3 inches. And I don't necessarily mean that as like a physical boundary. I mean, sometimes small adjustments is really all this takes. It doesn't mean you have to completely dismantle something. It just means you have to adjust. So, adjusting things for your own benefit, your own well-being. Sometimes you have to throw everything out the window, and sometimes you just have to learn how to fix what's broke. Alright, my lovelies, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I am going to adjust the numerology portion, so I'm going to skip that. I will go ahead and still do the astrology for the time being. The moon in Capricorn conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn. So this is where you take control of something, see what you can do with it, help empower you. And this way you can use passionate energy. The moon also enters Aquarius. Work on a change that needs to happen now. You can find a way to make it work, which is kind of what we're seeing here, actually, with both of that. Imperfect action kind of backfired. We're trying to make sense of it, take charge of it enough to change it, make different choices, adjust it, whether that means completely uncreating it or just rewriting, recreating part of it. Okay, finding a way to make it work. Whether that is bulldozing it, tearing it down, building all new, or, you know, knocking down a wall and rebuilding one of the walls and making things solid again. So it actually does support you. Alright, my loves, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here for you. If it resonates, by all means, give me a thumbs up. And if it doesn't, no worries. It's a general reading. Please take what resonates, leave the rest. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.